Welcome everybody. We appreciate you guys joining us this evening. As everybody's coming in, if you don't mind, just cut your cameras on so we can see those beautiful faces. We appreciate you. Lots of ways you could be spending your Tuesday night, but Julie, they decided to spend it with us, and we've got a good treat for them. My name's David. I'm hosting tonight with the co-founder of Partner Driven, Julie Muse, the lady behind all of the deals. But Julie decided to bring on a guest tonight, so we actually have an interview with one of our partners that we love to death, Preston Moore. So, Julie, if you want to kind of tell us about what to expect tonight a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight I wanted to bring Preston on. Preston has a grand experience in this business. And I believe that he's going to be able to share some good insights with everybody this evening. Chelsea, if you would make mine and Preston's screen larger, please. So when we're talking, perfect. If you could put both of us side by side, that'd be great. I wanted to bring Preston on because of his experience by himself, along with what he does with us here as a partner at Partner Driven. Really, there's only one thing, and I actually texted him this that I could say about Preston. It's real hard in life to meet people that do what they say they're going to do. Does anybody agree with me there? It's like more and more these days, it's just so hard to find people that do what they say they are going to do and are who they say they're going to be. And I'll tell you, for me, that is the epitome of Preston. When Preston says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it exactly how he said he's going to do it, if not better. So I would like to introduce Mr. Preston Moore out of Huntsville, Alabama. Hey, Preston, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I cannot complain.
Yeah, so I was hoping tonight we've got people on this call who are maybe new to real estate investing or who have been in this business, even for a little bit, if you could expand on some of your knowledge here. So tell us a little bit about yourself, not just even in real estate, about, I know you got a family. What's the day-to-day life with Mr. Preston Moore?
Man, so I got a little family. I got four girls, and one little guy, two in college, one in high school, about to go to college, one about to hit high school. And I'm married. I got a wife, and she's an entrepreneur. She has like a big podcast and her faith podcast, so she has like multiple different things going on. I kind of like pushed her out there. I bought her this big building so she can be away from everyone, start her podcast, and then she shot off on that. And then she works corporate for Hilton. So yeah, we just rocking. We're a busy group, and we have a little cat, Max.
A little cat.
Yeah.
Listen, you're almost there, Preston. The kids are going to college. You got one going into high school. Y'all are about to be free, man.
We're about to be free. You would think they keep us busy. Yeah, they're big babies.
Yeah, I hear you. It's so funny when I first met Preston, we were at an event in Atlanta, and I kind of thought he was new to real estate investing. And he's like, yeah, well, I've done like 50 wholesale deals the first time I met him. And I was like, dude, you don't just come out the gate like acting like you've never done a deal before, and that you did like 50 before I even met you. So kind of give some experience over the years. Like what have you accomplished as a real estate investor, and what kind of got you into it?
So I've always had like an entrepreneur mind. Just wanted to be my own boss, and not just to say I'm a boss, you know what I mean? Just want to, just make my own way. I watched my dad work his hands out, and I watched my mom work her hands out, and I wanted to be able to, leave something to my kids and take it to the next level for them, So I own auto mechanic shops, detail shops, and car lots, and I stumbled across someone one time talking about wholesaling, and I was like, he spoke it fast, so it went over my head, but I kept it in the back of my head. And then one day I was on YouTube. I'm a big a researcher. I like to watch podcasts, YouTube. That's just my thing. Even though I know a lot, I still like it. And I watched a guy named Max Maxwell one time, and he was actually like driving for dollars and showing what was going on, going into his flips. And I'm like, that's cool. And then he broke down wholesaling again, and that's when I really dug in and started to try to figure out what this wholesaling was. So that was my start, watching that guy. And after my first one on this one street, I got 5 on the same street. I've never looked back. And that was like 2020, early 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what initially kind of got you excited? I mean, I started in wholesaling too. And you know what's so funny is there's like this stigma with people with wholesaling. Like they almost are like, if you've been doing real estate investing for a long time, like it's not cool to do wholesaling anymore. And that blows my mind because like still to this day, that is one of my absolute favorite strategies, why do you think people kind of look at that as like entry level real estate investing? Are you ever going to give that up?
Oh no, I was big in wholesaling. So I have 3 things. Wholesaling was like the first, and then okay, flipping, and then maybe let's hold it. So I always had if the numbers work, why go do all the work? If the numbers work, we're gonna make a good lick off of it. Why not? So I still use wholesaling to this day. I backed off of it some. And the reason I backed off of it was just my passion, because I ended up becoming getting a contract, just getting into the contracting side of it, and getting guys and having to feed their family. So, okay, let me stop taking so many away from us and help them. But I do have buyers that's, just stalks me. Hey, what do you got?
Bet they do. They're like, Preston, where's my next deal?
Yeah. What's going on? Something's not right, and I'm holding so many now. But
Yeah.
I do still wholesale, and I look at it as a great tool. It's a cash flowing tool. It's a tool where you keep the cash coming in. It's the fastest thing. I've never seen anything like it when I jumped in, and I still haven't seen anything like it. It's changed a lot, a ton since I first started, but it's still like probably my number 2. Flipping is just the number 1 now. I just like taking nothing and making something, making nothing out of something. It's nothing like that feeling.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, and I should have had some pictures ready of well, I guess I can look up Moore's Mill, and show everybody the house. We're closing on that, April 1st?
Oh no, on the 28th.
28th. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that was a hot mama there.
Yes. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what's funny. I really anymore, I don't flip very many properties that are down to the studs. Like I never, hardly ever agree to do those. And when you sent me pictures, so is anybody on this call ever did a flip where it was down to the studs? Anybody on this call? They make me sick every time I see the photos. Yeah. I'll tell you, the best day was yesterday when you sent me photos of sheetrock on the walls. I was like, oh my God. Because like the week before I saw the new electrical lines ran, then I saw the sheetrock, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, I normally don't go for those. It's just one of them things was in my face, and the agent's like, look, it's gonna be great. It's the area, it's gonna go fast. So I said, okay, let's send it. Let's see what we're gonna do. And it's coming out great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
So, really the other thing that I like about you, and we have different partners here at Partner Driven where I take over and kind of do a lot of the renovations, or some partners that are a little bit more experienced like Preston here. I actually haven't given you any design ideas on anything that you've done. So what kind of gave you, like, that doesn't just come from nowhere, right? Like what kind of gives you those ideas? Where are you getting that from?
So, I got a good eye for design. And I know my areas. And me, I got maybe 15 flips under my belt as well. So I know what they like and what they don't like. Now I am trying to get away from like the design colors a little bit and bringing in my wife a little bit because she's going for her design thing. But I have a good eye for it. The colors, um, it's just something that's just in me. I just know the area. You got
Yeah.
to know your area. You can't have marble on the floor and you're in the boonies. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
More like butcher block, but you just gotta know your areas.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So kind of give an idea of your experience. So you've been doing this since 2019. By the way, that is not that long, guys.
No,
Uh, what is that, 6 years?
yeah. So,
How many deals have you done by now? Whether that's so you've got rentals, you've done wholesale deals. I'm sure
mhm.
you've gotten into some creative financing already, huh?
So that's the only thing that I haven't tapped into was the creative finance, and I have like buddies around me, like when you get in this business, you get all kind of people and they see what you're doing. So I have tons of buddies that's doing great things. And I have a guy who's he just specifically does seller financing and he coaches in that. And they've been trying to get me over to that, but I'm the type of person, if I don't really like understand it, I don't want to touch it. I
Yeah.
want to I want to know exactly how to do it, which is kind of cut and dry, but I still want to be a little savvy in it. So I haven't touched that, but some rentals, which I had during COVID time, and then when COVID came and then people didn't want to pay, I haven't bought a rental since that era, because it just took a taste out of my mouth when no one wanted to pay me my rent. So I just been flipping,
Yeah.
and yeah, but like flipping rentals, tons of wholesales, tons of them. I was like a wholesale god. Man, I have so many wholesales. I have to pull out my file to look at the HUD statements. There's so many of them
Mm-hmm.
all over.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, you're on this call and he is a very humble gentleman, right? Just right now, we're working on 3 flips at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got one that's already sold, we've got two in renovation mode, and we've got one in escrow.
Yes,
And you're probably doing some on your own as well, right?
I am. I have multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then that's really huge. And the reason why I wanted to bring Preston on tonight, I'm always on here, Peter's always on here. And, I wanted you to kind of get to know him. But if it's okay with you, Preston, I'm going to have people pick your brain and ask you questions. I didn't even ask him. I just knew he would do it if I just put him on the spot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are sitting here right now and they're working a job, okay? And they've watched the YouTube videos, they've went to the podcast, they've came to webinars, whether it's ours or somebody else's, but they haven't made that step towards doing something from themselves. What kind of advice do you have for that somebody that maybe just like you, that is a father, that is a husband, that has this big load on their back, that they have to take care of their family, or they have this thing that they've got to take care of? How do you go from being in that spot to kind of being where you are today? Like how do you merge that gap?
So it's I'll say this for me. At the time I was working at NASA on the base, Redstone. We have like the Redstone Arsenal here. And I was working for NASA and I was doing a lot of wholesale deals, and they was like, man, what you got going? You got something going on. But I love my job, and it was a full-time job. But my hours was unique. I get there, I think, well, it was like 6. So we really had to be there by 5:30 to like 2:30. So they gave me after 2:30 to go crazy. But so when COVID came, I'd already had multiple deals. I was already doing really good. So I was thinking like, my wife was like, hey, don't you leave that job. But I was just thinking like, Lord, how can I, just take this to the level I want to take it? And I knew the only way that I could take this thing to the next level was to go at it full time. Part time is just too difficult. So when COVID happened, we got everything shut down. But then when everyone came back, I got furloughed. So they gave me a payout. Hey, 6 months. We're not gonna renew you guys. You can go. So I took that as that was God for me. Some of the other guys, I'm but for me, I took that as God, and I just from that day I took off. But like if you guys you do the research and you just don't know how to get out the quote. We call it analysis paralysis, where you do a lot of research and you got to take that next step. So what I would tell anyone is just have faith and just go at it. And me personally, I think that first deal, once you get that first deal and you taste it, it's just contagious. It just keeps coming and it keeps coming and it keeps coming, but you just can't like give up. This is one of these businesses that you just can't give up. It's gonna be tough. You just got to keep on going and use all the tools that's given.
So, you talked a little bit about your wife there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing you, kind of being the leader, of your household, how was that conversation when you got furloughed? Like, was she, I mean, I'm just wanting to get real here. Like, did you feel like I have to go find something else, or did you just say, hey, this is the path I'm taking. This is what I'm doing?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm one of these type of guys. I've always been like a hustler type of guy. She married me that way. I was a go-getter when she met me. And it's just my mama was a go-getter. It's just in my blood. So, I love my wife, but I look at it like it's my journey. We together, but we also as one. So I know that this is the best thing for me. And I know that if I know this is the best thing for me, then I know this is the best thing for us. So I mean, there's nothing it's nothing bigger than real estate to me. So I took that shot. She used to play. I'm a risk taker, and she's a play it safe type of person. So she was very, very nervous at first, very nervous. So I had to make her a believer. That's just it. I had to make her a believer, and she believed it quite quick because But like I said, I had already had deals before I got laid off. So she knew that I was on to something. Yeah, I had already had, my first assignment was 33,000. So
oh wow.
Yeah, that was my first assignment was 33,000. And then I got the house right across the street, and that was another 15,000. I just helped them out. That was 15. And then he introduced me to his cousin with the Smurf house, and I think I got 20 off of that one. And then a ex-friend had a rental house on the same street, which is crazy, but he was at the end of the road. And then I made another assignment. So I was rolling before it happened. So, of course, with this, especially in the beginning, you throw a lot of money at marketing. So it comes in, but it could go fast through marketing, trying to keep the wheels going. And then I think I scaled like really quick. I went and got 6 VAs. I started to go crazy a little bit, but by the blessing, it just all worked out for me. She was nervous at first, but we had money in the bank, so just trust me. Just trust me.
Well, and it's really with any of our journeys, right? Like I've, over the years did, quite a few deals over the years. And what's funny is people think like after you do this, like you quit working hard. Like I'm probably one of the hardest working women you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? The difference is I'm doing it in something that I love to do.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that want to get into this business and they have a full-time job, but it brings up another point. Sometimes you got to, like, I call it you got to put the suck in first, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, you've got to draw a line in the sand and make a decision that you want to do something, which might mean getting at a job at 5:30 in the morning, leaving at 3 and working from 3 to 7 at night to get those first few deals done to where you can
Yeah.
be like Preston, where
Yeah.
now you have the confidence in yourself or maybe for your family so that you're able to go to that next stage.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's about your why. What is your why? You know,
What do you mean it? What do you mean in that? Because I mean, we throw that around so much because we talk about those things, but what do you mean by that?
so my why was, getting my daughter through college and getting them all through college, and not even college, just whatever they want. If they, I have daughters just want to own businesses, cosmetology, that they want their own store. So helping them and just us being free. Those are my whys at this point. My daughters and my son. And just helping my wife, watch her grow, because she works so hard and she's humble and she's a God fearing. So I just wanted to help her. So those guys is my why.
Yeah. Like it's really your why has to be so big that there's no way to fail.
Yeah.
Like when
Period.
you got 4 daughters, a son, and a wife to take care of, your why is so big. There's failure is not even an option.
Even if you're in something and you lose and you still winning. You still gotta go at it like you're winning. Hey, how can I get a win out of this loss?
Yeah.
That's just it.
And I want to be real with people because there's lots of things on the internet, or you may see ads on social media that says real estate investing is easy and it's a quick way to make money. I want to address that, like that thing in the room. And I always talk about this because I hate when people say that. Like for me, real estate investing, I love doing it, but it is hard work, right? It's just you tend to make more money for your hard work than other things. So to get to the level where you've got, so like, by the way, I don't even talk to Preston about the deals he does on his own. Like right now, we're doing 4 deals, flips. We're in the middle of 4 deals right now together. He's doing ones on his own. At what level does it take to operate like that? I mean, you guys have to understand if you've got 4, 6, or 7 going on at a time, you've got 3 to 4 deals closing every month.
Oh yeah. It's a level. It's a beast. And what I did was, so I say this, one of my best buyers. What I did was on my wholesale journey. So my first one, I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy reached out to me, and we still good buddies to this day. But I noticed when I started learning, I was like, hey, something's not right. And then I noticed that he was basically daisy chaining off of me, taking
Oh,
my deals, and basically he was a wholesaler too. Now every now and then he'll flip them, but really he was taking them. And then I ended up, the company is called Spartan Invest. So they buy like a lot of properties. They'll fix them up and they'll put money in them, and then they'll sell them to another investor in another states, and they'll rent them. That's their little thing. And I ended up getting with the company, selling them tons of deals. And then I met this other buyer, and he's huge here. He's a real estate broker, big company. He's a big flipper, and then he has a what do you call it? A property management company, huge property management company here. And we ended up being real good friends. Even to this day, he came to see me this morning. And I started to watch. He has a big operation. So I own a landscaping company. So I started doing all his flips, all the landscaping. So I'm seeing what he has going on, how he's doing it, his quality, what I don't like about it, what I do like about it. But what I did was, all his guys, they like me. So, a lot of his, he uses like multiple different guys, all kind of guys. He don't stick to like one crew. He has multiple different crews. I don't know why he does it, but that's what he does. But I ended up, meeting some of the guys, and then they ended up coming to me and helping me out. So through his crew, I ended up getting tons of subs, and all kind of guys. So I have such a big team of subs and so many guys that I could get 20 more and still won't be behind. It's just so many. We have such a big crew of help and good people, that's always looking for opportunity. And I could just call them and they there.
Yeah. It's so crazy. Real estate investing is a relationship business, is it? Like it's
Yes,
not like a you're on your own island type of deal.
you have to have a relationship in this business. It's you just do. And I'm one of them solo guys. I'm very quiet. I don't like to hang around a lot of people, but in this business, you have to network, and people gotta know what you're doing. You know,
Mhm.
you know, I'm still like a little low key, and people are like catching on, and I'm just now getting to where, okay, let me put a few on Facebook and let them see what's going on. I'm just getting to that, and so many people are
I know
reaching
I'm
out.
like sending him videos and I'm not
Yeah.
even branding them with partner driven. And I'm like, okay, when you gonna post?
Yeah, I'm just now getting into that. But it's relationship. You have to have relationships, and that's just if like going to Home Depot, talk. You might not have a flip yet, but if this is something you want to do, you should know, hey, I'm gonna get me a flip soon. If this is something you want to do, talking to contractor day every morning, loading up every morning, getting some cards, and being ready. You know,
Yeah. Being ready for your crop before it's even put in the ground.
being ready.
Yeah.
Having a game plan, not going into something blind and having to figure out as you go. You know, we've done that already. So you learn from the guys who's already done that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna ask you one more question. If it's okay, I'm gonna let people pick your brain if you don't mind.
Shoot it.
I think you bring so much value to other people on the call. And I want to go back to the original thing I said at the beginning of this call is if you're in a relationship business, if you're talking to contractors, if you're talking to that, if you're talking to sellers, guys, too, you see these big investors out there, it's still local. Okay. The big companies like Zillow and all those guys that were buying properties, they're out of this business. Okay. For a reason. But the thing that Preston is different than a lot of people is he is a man of his word. Okay. Whether that's his friends, and I could say that just about knowing him, whether that's to his sellers, always providing value, putting that stuff out there. My last question I have from you is, why did you, with you doing all of this business and like not to be ugly, you didn't necessarily need the money. Why do you continue to partner with Partner Driven with Peter and me?
That's a great question. That's a great question, and I answer it greatly. So I didn't even have to partner in the beginning. It was one of those things where Peter came up. You know how like the ads he came up, and I seen him, and I said, you know what? That's unique. I'm in like Leon and all kind of stuff, but that when he said that, I was like, that's unique. Okay, find a deal, split it 50-50. That's just like, deals. As you know, I tell my guys all the time, I have this one guy. I'm jumping off topic, but I bring it right back. I
Okay.
have I have this guy, and he called me today. He want to have a flip off with me, but he called me today, and he's like, Preston, I think you could be talking to, forget the sellers, forget the sellers, but I have to let him know, like, I don't operate like that. My sellers and my buyers, they come first. I'm in the middle. So I don't believe in, taking advantage of people. You know, and we need the sellers. That's why I don't have a lead problem, and he has a lead problem, and he's always asking me for something. What do I have for him? You have a lead generation problem is because it's the way you think about it. Forget the sellers. Talk them down. I'm not giving them nothing. It's like, no. But when Peter came on my Facebook, I was like, okay, 50. I have, I got leads like crazy. So I did it, and to me, I feel like it's the best thing I've ever done in real estate. To me, to me, it's easy. You know, you guys don't fuss me about nothing. You know, it's just easy. It's straight how it is. It's you know, find a deal and fund it and rehab it. And it's just that simple. You know, it's just that simple. Long as the numbers work, it is that simple. If the numbers don't work, the numbers don't work. That's even for me. For what I have going on, if the numbers don't work, I can't do nothing with it. You know, so why should I be mad at them if they can't do it? It's a numbers thing, but it's the easiest. It's just easy, and you guys are cool. You come with tools. I let my driving for dollars tool go and just use deal driven. It's just like it come with tools and the process, the portal, everything's just so easy. To me, I almost, even my lenders, they reach out to me and like, hey, Preston, what do you got? Some's not, I'm just, I prefer really just to send it through the portal. It's just easy. You guys never told me no. If it works, I've never been told no, never. If the deal works, it works. Let's go. And that's what I like. It's just like, it's family.
Mm-hmm. No, I really appreciate that, Preston. And you are, one of my favorite partners. You don't come with excuses, right? You make things happen. And your success, you're a lot like me in the fact that if you can't make it a win-win for the seller, then I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hurt somebody else to gain in myself. We appreciate you, and we've done these few deals, but I think we can get in the couple hundred range over the next year.
That's easy.
Let's get these 3 done. Let's have 10 of these going at a time. Why not?
Yeah.
Alabama is a beautiful market right now. For those of anybody that doesn't know, it's Huntsville, Alabama is growing rapidly. It's still it's a great place in America to live. People can afford to live there, right? There's a lot of good family values and things, but I appreciate you so much being on tonight, Preston. I'm going to let folks ask you questions. David's going to lead you into that.
Okay.
So y'all take it from there. He's willing to be here for a few more 20 minutes or so. So don't, if you want to know how to get to somebody's level, the best thing to do is ask, right? So David, I'll let you take it away, hon.
Yeah, absolutely. Julie, Preston, thank you. Always love hearing from our partners' firsthand experience, getting to hear what it's like doing deals. And Preston, I kind of wanted to ask you the first question before I turn it over to everybody else. As somebody who was successful doing deals, already had the ball rolling, you were looking to scale and kind of level up. When you're going into these deals, how did the systems in place that Peter and Julie have kind of help streamline everything else so that your time was more freed up? Did that allow the opportunity to chase more wholesale deals on your own?
Absolutely. The system that's in place it's just cut and dry, it's easy. Even from, getting the contract. So I don't even use my contracts anymore. And even if I have a deal that I'm gonna keep a wholesale, I'll edit the contract that's already in place. It's just that contract. When I got that contract, I was like, oh, this is gold. But even down to the contracts, it's just golden. It flows so good for me and my little organization. What I have going on I'm winning with it.
Absolutely. And having that infrastructure around you, just make it nice and smooth. And that's kind of the thing. It's a time consuming business. You got to put a lot of time and effort towards it, especially for people that are looking to transition from their day job over it. And, anything to help save up that time, writing up contracts, doing the closings, worried about rehabs, all that stuff just helps you scale up. So,
and also, with the team, if you have questions, got a person like Marina that you could talk to, and if you have any question, need any help, you're not alone. You always got someone there that's gonna help you through any situation, because in real estate, you're gonna run into a lot of different type of situations. The situationships in this thing, You could be probate. It's all kind of different things that go on in this thing, and to have a team to ask a question that you don't know, they're gonna have an answer for you. So it's a
100%.
great place to be.
Yeah. Now, if you look at the bottom of your screen, everybody, you'll see a reacts button. You can click that reacts button, and then on that, there'll be a raise hand feature that'll allow you to come on, ask questions for Preston. It looks like we have Pressant up first. I hope I said that correctly.
You did, yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For sharing this, like this was really why Roland invited me to join today. I'm considering the partner program here. And I'm in Texas, and I do have a couple of wholesalers that send me deals, right? And they are really good. They're efficient. They send me comps, all of the details that I'd want to do a deal. How long, or have you experienced any delays in getting funded, or how quickly do you fund deals that are wholesaler recommended with partners?
So when you say how long funding, like with partner driven?
Yeah, to get a deal closed, like and as a wholesaler, right, you usually have 7 to 14 days to close a deal.
Yeah. So I say a few things to you.
Yeah.
The first thing, and I'm not trying to turn you away from it, but what you want to do is be self-independent and try to move without wholesalers. Try to get your own leads and find out how to get your own lead generation. But sometimes a wholesaler might have a great deal and it works. So if you have a deal and you submit it and those numbers work, they'll have that deal funded within a week or two. I mean, it's quick. It's just if the numbers work, they'll get it done. It's a numbers game, brother. Long as it fits that formula, it's a go. I've never been told no ever. Long as it fits that formula, and I make sure it fits that formula, bam.
All right, thank you.
Fast. It's fast. I promise you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like you went on mute.
Yeah. Yeah, I said most of us aren't fixing to be wholesalers, right? So finding our own deals. I mean, we're not going. I have no interest in bird dogging or putting a web page up to get leads. Like that's not my business. I like this side, right?
And Prashant, I want to be clear here as the owner. I do not suggest buying deals from wholesalers.
Okay.
Because generally what you're going to find is the ARVs are going to be overinflated. The renovations are going to be underinflated, and you're going to be chasing a lot. So it's not about bird dogging or any of that when you're finding your own real estate deals. It's about controlling your business. When your business is reliant upon somebody else to find the deals, you're only as good as the leverage that they give you, right? It's like having a 3-legged stool. Mm-hmm. You're missing one of your legs there. So to be clear, the biggest thing is we don't mind funding deals if the numbers work and all that, but also like even with Preston, we do a great deal of due diligence before we even buy the property, so that we make sure we're not making mistakes. Because even as many deals as Preston does, he gets bids, he gets home inspections. We cross-reference the two to make sure we're not making any mistakes. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there so that I'm 100% clear with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you interjecting that, Julie. And what is your criteria, if I may ask? Like what makes the deal workable for you?
If you are direct to seller, okay, there's more than just fixing and flipping houses. There's wholesaling, buying, selling as is. Right. I can buy deals direct to seller up to 90% of the as is value. If we're going to buy a house, renovate it and resell it, we're at 65% of the ARV minus the repairs on a purchase price.
So 65% ARV minus
repairs.
The purchase plus repair should be 65%, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's a tight.
That's easy, brother.
It
seems that way because I was a 70% rule guy. So it was different for me. This was the only thing that was different for me because I was built on the 70% rule. So me getting into that 65% made me even more savvier. and more stronger. You understand what I'm saying? So don't look at it like that, because I did, and
Okay.
I'm doing it, and I come from the 70% rule, so it can happen. And I'll say this: it's like you know, it's different opportunities that that you could take. Like, I throw a nugget out there, and I forgot my my code I can give you guys. Sorry, but if you go like to iSpeed to lead, places like that, that'll start you off. That that's where you can go get leads, and you can get into things, and they'll start. That's inbound, real leads, real time. You still have to work them. You still got to be savvy. Just because you get them, don't think, okay, I bought this lead and now I got it. You still have to call them because there's other people that's calling too. You understand what I'm saying? So you call and do your due diligence, and if you made the best man win. But I speed to lead is a good place to go. I will cut out the wholesalers though, brother.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And it's a great point, right, Preston? You've got your business and you want to be in control of it. And when you're relying on other people, you're only as good as they are, right?
Yeah. Oh
Versus
yeah. Oh
having
yeah.
it in your control, being in charge of your business, being able to direct those leads. So
Oh yeah.
absolutely. It looks like our next question is from Joseph. Joseph, one of our new partners, actually started with us, I believe, Thursday or Friday of last week. So Joseph, glad to have you on board with us. What question you got for Preston?
Yeah, actually, I started on Friday. So now, just a quick question when it comes down to the wholesaling, and let's say some, I don't know if you work on this in your experience, but and then like some in the 30-day due diligence, something come up, like I don't know, maybe like a bathroom was needed like 15, or I don't know, anything could happen. How would you handle those things? If you already factor the numbers and to the offer, right? And then that was to make deal a deal, but now it's like some other expenses that you didn't even counter in are coming into the picture. Does that just disqualify the whole thing, or you just
So let me make sure I'm following. I'm following you in the river. So you're trying to say, like, if you got a deal, you work the numbers, and you do the due diligence, and something comes back off on, like, like foundation or something like
no,
that.
like something minor, something
Okay.
that it's not like a big ticket item, but it's something minor
Okay.
from and you have your numbers all worked out with the seller. You're
So
direct to seller.
so if anything comes up, and you don't you you have to go back, and you have to go back for a reduction. That's just what we
Exactly.
do. That's just what we do. That's the thing of doing your due diligence. That's why we do that. So the number, if anything comes back and it changes that number, I have to go back to my seller to get that.
Right.
I need to get that back from the seller to
So
make
now,
this deal work.
exactly. So now it comes back to, like, if you want to keep it in the 94% rule, then now you have to start taking off out of the
The
active
the what percent rule? 90?
for the
You said
whole
90?
telling, not the fix and flip, the whole telling.
Okay.
The house is just ready. It's just
So
turned.
on a hotel deal, you wouldn't have to do that because you're not doing any repairs. So when you
Correct.
get the property under contract, you've got equitable interest. We'll pre-list the property onto the MLS to procure a buyer, right? So the issue would be is if your buyer found something additional, and at that point, the
Exactly,
numbers
something like that.
are the numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Because
it's
then you
just
would
like a
go back.
surprise.
Yeah, so then you would go back to your seller for a reduction, because what you don't want to do, like, there's some things you're just not going to find. I mean, even the deal we're doing in Arab, I believe, Alabama, we thought the renovation to start with was what, 38, and it ended up being 46 because
47.
we ended up doing we found more things. I mean, and that's, you're either taking that out of your profits or it's coming out, one way or the other. But you're not going to deal with that a whole lot on a hotel deal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like very simple stuff because I know big ticket items that doesn't counter in because you're not
Well,
gonna
simple
go.
stuff, I'm not gonna like, even if it goes above 65 and it's little things, we're not gonna just like kill a deal over that.
Got
You
it.
know what I
Okay.
mean? That's like a rule of thumb.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Great question. And that's part of the dance of the negotiations, right, Julie? You get it under contract, you start working the deal, you
Yeah.
got to massage it and make sure it works. It's part of the fun, right?
Well,
It's part of the fun.
talk about the dance. Everybody thinks negotiations happens one time. It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
You're negotiating a deal from the very start to the very, very end. You're negotiating emotions, you're negotiating pricing, you're negotiating when they're leaving, you're negotiating what they leave in a house, a whole bunch of stuff.
Doc Salin, the one we just closed, I had Doc Salin for 4 months. I was dancing with Doc Salin for 4 months before we can get that thing to the table. It's just that's part of it. Sometimes you're gonna get them. We call it nurturing the deal.
100%. But great question, Joseph. Looks like we've got Brad up next. Brad, if you're still around and want to come off mute and ask what you got.
Yep, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, so I have a quick question. Some of the other people asked what I was going to ask, so I got those answers. But as far as the contracting goes, are you just doing assignment? Are you doing and/or assignee? So it'd be like I get the contract into my name or my LLC name, and then I would do and/or assignee, and then present it to you, or how is the contracting done?
So when you mean when you have a deal, how does
Correct. Yeah.
so once you join partner driven, you'll have a portal, and it's so easy, especially now because they changed it, automated system. So you would just type in all your information, all the seller's information, and it automatically populates a contract to your email. You don't have to do anything anymore. I still like to send my DocuSign because that's just like something that let me feel like I'm still in, got something going on. But I don't even have to do that anymore. They can send it out. But yeah. So when you start with partner driven, they have the contracts populated automatically now. So all you have to do is sit back, send the contract, and wait to get it signed back.
All right, and you guys only use the partner-driven contracts. You don't take, like, if it's a state contract. Uh, for instance, like if it's an Alabama Realtor Association, whatever contract that's already been executed. Is that something that would be able to be submitted, or?
You mean like from a realtor?
Well, yeah. So like pretty much when I do my deals, I
Uh-huh.
use just the state form. So like if I'm doing a deal in South Carolina right now, so I'm using a South Carolina realtor contract or whatever to do the deal on. I'm not using a realtor, but I'm just using that templated form.
I just know the partner driven contract can go all 50 states. We use it in all 50 states.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if it closes an
I mean,
attorney.
you said a word. You said a word that I don't. So I don't think I've ever bought a deal off the MLS before. I don't go for those. I feel like
Oh,
those are lazy.
yeah,
Those are
I don't either. I don't either. I was
okay.
just saying, I just like using the
The contract.
contracts or
Got you.
whatever, because I'm not, for instance, I'm not from South Carolina or whatever, so
Okay.
I don't have that real estate law in that particular state.
Okay.
So I just like using the realtor form. But if you got a contract that kind of umbrellas the legalities of everything, then that's even better. But
It's the best. To me, it's the best contract because I used a lot of different contracts, assignment contracts, and this particular contract gives us the option to list it on the market, and it has different type of verbiage in it. So to me, it's the best contract I've seen. So to answer your question, I would just use the partner driven contract. Come on aboard, brother. Let's go.
thank you.
Thanks, Brad. And good question, right? It always comes down to contract, making sure we got it squared away. Nice and neat there. It looks like we've got FJ up next. If you want to come off mute.
Thanks, guys. When you come across different leads and deals, if you find one that you actually drove by or have your bird dog see, when you run it through whatever system you are using to evaluate it and you submit the deal, how are you efficiently submitting the deal so that you can get feedback on it right away? Are you taking photos, all that stuff?
Okay, that's a great question. And you said one word. So this, like I did, like we have like in part of Driven, we have like this thing called Circle to where it's a big group of us. And I'm trying to get, active in it. And I posted maybe, I don't know, Julie, probably like 5 videos of me driving. So this, you said the one, this hypes me up when I hear the driving, but because I like driving for dollars a lot. So say for instance, I see one I like. I crunch my numbers. Once I crunch my numbers and I know it works, basically, once you know, you speak out, reach out to the seller. You have to work it. Reach out to the seller, and once you got the number, even if it might not even be close. But long as it might not be there, but long as it's close, go ahead and request. So you can go into the portal and request for a contract. They'll send the contract out immediately. Same, like within a minute, you'll get the contract, and then get the contract out, get it signed, and resubmit it back through the portal. It's just that easy. You don't have to take. You could take the pictures and all that, but what I like to do, I like to get the deal, get the contract, get it signed. We call it like getting it locked up. Then I go back and do all the pictures and stuff. But if you get a deal and it works, go ahead and request for a contract, get it locked up, submit it back through the portal, and then get the rocking. Get your pictures, put a lockbox on it, however you like to roll with it.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
brother.
to kind of help out answering that a little bit, when you go in to request a contract in Circle, once you submit that back, it actually notifies Peter and Julie immediately once that contract's signed. So they're going to know right away, hey, Preston's got 123 West Main Street signed today. Time to start looking over this deal. They're going to pick up the phone and they're going to call you and say, hey, Preston, what do we got working, right? So that feedback comes right away when you're working those deals, and when you request them through that deal portal, just like Preston's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like we've got Santiago up next.
Santiago.
Oh, we had him for a second. If not, we can move on to whoever's got the iPhone. If you want to go ahead and ask your question first.
Hey, Preston.
What's up, Santiago?
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, brother.
Perfect, man. Okay, so my question is, what do you recommend when buying a full rehab?
Full rehab, what do I recommend? Can you elaborate a little bit? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, there's this property. It has a new roof, but everything else needs to be done, They are selling it for... Yeah, man. So like everything, the HVAC, the floors, sheetrock, bathroom, everything needs to be done. It even has another structure next to it that can be converted into either another maybe a 1-1 or a garage, anything you want,
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're selling it pretty cheap, I would say, compared to the ARV that I think the property has. But I still have some agents going to check the house around and let me know what the ARV is and all that stuff,
Okay. That's good moves. Good move. So what I would do if in your shoes, I would probably like find me a good contractor that could go by and walk it and start bidding it. So you'll be spot on with your rehab because you don't want to be too low, buddy. That is a killer.
Right.
So you'll get you a good contractor from, Facebook Marketplace, or however you can find you a good guy to go through and bid it, and let you got big ticket items. You got HVACs and maybe electrical, and yeah, that's those big tickets. So you don't want to mess that up. So
Exactly, exactly.
I would get a contractor to go through it and walk it with you. He don't even have to do a bit. Just walk it with me, and you know
Okay, got you. But that's something that partner driven will be interested in, right? Or am I on?
absolutely,
Okay,
yes, sir.
okay, okay, okay.
We love
All
them.
right, perfect, man. Me too. Okay, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Santiago. Um, and to Preston's point earlier, where he talked about that circle community where all of our partners are, that's where our deal portal is, our daily coaching, our training, all of our partners like Preston, Jerry, Chad, that are all posting their tips and tricks in there too. We also have a free version of that community. So we'll drop a link in there so you guys can join that, get you some training, get you a taste of what that platform's like. That way you can kind of get accustomed, kind of see what Preston's referring to when he's talking about that circle community. Really cool platform, so be sure to check it out. And we're approaching the top of the hour. Preston, Julie, thank you so much for your time. We're going to take this last question from Wayne before we wrap up. Should be bottom left of your screen.
Yeah, on the contract, and if I'm a contractor myself, is there a problem with me doing the work with my guys?
So here's and I'll help you with that. So Wayne, I generally manage the renovations, whether that's with outside partners or whether that's with contractors that I hire. Where are you located?
I work both around Beaumont, Texas, and outskirts of New Orleans.
Okay, perfect. By the way, I'm in Louisiana right now, and I've got 6 flips in New Orleans.
Well, maybe we should talk.
We should.
Probably need a contractor.
I have a camp here in Louisiana that I stay at 3 months out of the year. But so here's the thing and how I work. Like even Preston, we're doing a deal right now that was almost a full gut. If I'd have just met Preston on that first deal, I would have never have let him do that. The first deal we did together that he managed was a smaller renovation, okay? Because the only true way to underwrite somebody in construction is to work with them. You and I both know that, right? Even if you've got subs. Yeah. So, yes, you can do some of your own flips, but don't bring me a full renovation on the first one to get to know each other with. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So a little bit smaller of a job so that we can kind of get to know each other, know how each other works, and then grow and scale from there. Because I don't want to lose sleep every night worried, you know. But that's
why I'm scared to use other contractors.
Exactly. So I'm definitely open to using partners that are contractors. Some of the best partners I have are contractors. Okay. Yeah. But you got to know us too, right? Because you can't lose money in your contracting business to make a deal work. Because if you do that, then it'll never scale. Like I don't want partners to take some crazy discount to make the deal work, because that's not sustainable.
No, I understand that completely, but also I've dealt with other contractors and subs, and I don't know if I want to deal with them. Because
I hear you.
They like to cut corners for no damn reason. It doesn't even save them money or time.
Well, quality matters too. Like one other thing is, I don't want to put bad products out there because people work too damn hard for their money, for them to buy something that's not something that you wouldn't put your family in. That means a lot to me. I mean, the way something looks is one thing. Like, okay, yeah, it's nice to have something to be pretty. But I want things that actually is something you would be proud to put your family member in, because quality matters. You know, we all work way too hard for our money to give somebody a piece of crap.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Every flip I've ever done, when a realtor walked in there, there was always very impressed.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they start get me to do their own houses. You know.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
always say you
how
always,
would I get in touch with you?
who are you working with on my team?
I'm not working with anybody yet. I'm looking
So
at
Dave,
signing up
if
and getting set up.
so David, can you talk to Wayne and then get on my calendar?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure you guys get connected for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So David will be able to get you in touch with me and we'll talk. I'm a little wondering how you do Beaumont, New Orleans when those are so far away. Like he's talking two
I own a
separate.
house in both locations.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm sitting here like,
I,
wait a minute, those don't even touch.
no,
Oh,
I'm a, and then I have a house in Texas, and that's where the wife and kids are.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm opposite. I'm Georgia, Louisiana.
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Wayne. We'll make sure you get connected with Julie. And always, everybody, we appreciate your time as well as yours, Julie and Preston. Look, whether you're a new investor that's looking and they're where Preston was when he was working his 9 to 5 and trying to get into this, or whether you're a seasoned investor who's trying to really scale and blow this out of the water, check the link in the chat, schedule a call. Let's just see if this is a fit to do deals together. It may or may not be. That's okay either way. But let's have that conversation. But Preston, so thankful for your time. Glad you hopped on here, answered questions for everybody. Julie, do you have any last words for us?
Yeah, I just want to thank Preston for his time. He is a busy man. Like they say on the TV, this spokesperson is not paid. I've not even sent him a coffee cup. Okay. So thank you so much, Preston, for taking the time. I hope tonight that by seeing Preston, a good gentleman, somebody that wants to do the right thing by his community, by his family, might motivate any of you, whether you do it with partner driven, whether you do it on your own, to go out there and chase your dreams. Right? You deserve it. Your family deserves it. So thank you so much, Preston. Do you have any parting words for everybody?
Oh yeah, man. I'm just doing what I love to do. It's not even about the money. Grant, we all love money, but I'm just doing what I love to do. So I advise, you guys just to do what you love to do. If y'all got passion for this, come on. Let's have fun. Let's have some fun here. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time. Again, free communities in the chat, link to schedule calls in the chat as well. Be sure to check those out. But until next time, we thank you for your time and hope you have a good evening.